everyone. In this video I explain projectile motion. Let us start. When we project an object, ignore a resistance, the motion it is in two dimensions, x and y. Okay, we have here the initial velocity denoted by u, and the angle of projectile, which is denoted by theta. First step, we resolve the initial velocity into two components, in x-axis and in y-axis. So this is the first step. So first step, we resolve u. We have here ux, it is the initial velocity in x-axis, which is u cosine theta. uy, it is the initial velocity in y-axis, it's u sine theta. This point at the maximum height. Let this is the initial point O, and this point is maximum height. At each point here, we have two velocities. Velocity in x-axis and velocity in y-axis. We have a rule here in projectile. The velocity in x-axis, it will be constant through the motion. So this one, Vx, it is the same as ux. So it is constant through the motion. But Vy depends on the motion. At the maximum point, at A, we have Vx still as the same u cosine theta. But at A, Vy, it will be 0 at the maximum height. And then we have here also the distance from O to this point. This point denoted by B, for example. So this part represents the range. So the range is the maximum horizontal distance. So this part is the range. It is the maximum horizontal distance. So we have maximum height, maximum horizontal distance. We divide the motion into two parts, vertical motion and horizontal motion. So in this one here, we divide. This is a vertical and this is the horizontal. Okay. We talk about the motion from O to A, from start to maximum height. So from O to A. What are the givens that we have? We have the initial velocity, it's uy, which is u sine theta. Also, we have the final velocity, it is Vy. Vy equals 0. It moves upwards, so the acceleration is negative 9.81. So also we have G, negative 9.81 meter per second squared. From these three givens, we can get three things. First thing, we can deduce the time. The time of maximum height, t. Also, we can get the time of flight. It is the time of flight here when we project any object upward. The time up equal the time down. Ignore air resistance. So the time from 0 to A, it is the same as A to B. So the time of flight, it is the time from O to B. It is twice the time of maximum height. So we can deduce the time of flight. Time of flight. Let this time denoted by T capital, just to differentiate between T capital and the other time. So T capital, the time of flight, it is not the tension. T capital here, just we say, suppose that represents the time of flight. It's 2 multiplied by the time of maximum height. The third thing, we can deduce the maximum height, S. So we can deduce the maximum height. Let this S, Y. Now, in the other hand, horizontal. Horizontal, what do we have here in horizontal? Horizontal, it is the motion from O to B. we have the velocity, which is constant. So we have a ux equals u cosine theta, which is constant through the motion. So no acceleration. So horizontally, the acceleration equal to 0. So we use just one formula. V equals S over T. So we use just this formula. V equals S over T. From this, we can get S. S in this part represents the range, represented the maximum horizontal distance. So let this Sx. So Sx equals V multiplied time. V is the horizontal velocity. T, it is the time of flight. Let us we take two examples about this topic. Let us we see this example. A golfer hits a ball so that it moves off with velocity 40 meters per second. So the given is that the initial velocity u equals 40 meters per second at 30 degrees to the horizontal. So the angle of projectile is 30 degrees. Now we find ux and uy. So ux equals 40 cosine 30. uy equals 40 sine 30. We calculate this. So this one 20 radical 3 meters. This one equals 20 meters. We talk first about the vertical motion. So the vertical motion. We talk about from start to maximum height. What do we have here? We have the initial velocity, which is uy. So we have here uy equals 20 meters per second. We have the final velocity in y-axis, so vy equals 0. We have g moving upwards, so it's negative 9.81 meters per second squared. What do we need to calculate? We need to calculate the time that the ball in the air. So we need the time of flight. We solve now part A. V, U, and G, we can use the formula. Okay? V, to get the time, V equals U plus GT. Because we talk about vertical motion, just we add here Y. Vy equals 0, Uy equal 20 plus negative 9.81 multiplied. We move 20 to the other side, it becomes negative. Negative cancel with negative, so the time is 20 divided by 9.81. It's 2.0 seconds. This is the time of maximum height, but we need the time of flight. So the time of flight we can say it's T capital, it's 2y is this time. So it becomes 4.0 seconds. So this is the time of flight, the time in air. The second part, we need the maximum height. Still we are in vertical motion. So we continue, yeah? We need to get S. We have U, V, and G. Which formula? We don't have time. Don't depend on your answer. Maybe this answer is wrong. So it's better to depend on the given. So we use that formula. V squared equals U squared plus 2GS. We talk about vertical motion. So just we add here Y, Y, and this also S in Y. It is vertical motion. So V equals 0. U equals 20 squared plus 2 times the negative 9.81 multiplied. From this formula, we can get the displacement in y-axis. It is the maximum height. 20 squared, it's 400. To the other side, it becomes negative. Cancel negative with negative. So Sy it becomes 400 over 2 times 9.81. The answer is 20.4 meter. So the maximum height, this is the maximum height. So the maximum height equals 20.4 meter. So we solved part A and part B. Now we need to solve the part C. We said the horizontal distance. Then we go to the horizontal motion. So this is the second part, horizontal motion. Remember, in horizontal motion, the acceleration equals 0. The acceleration equals 0. It moves with constant velocity. What do we have here? We have ux. We have here ux. It was 20. Okay? ux is 20 radical 3. 20 radical 3 meter per second. It's constant. And also we have the time. So let this be. Also we have the time. It is the time of flight, which is 4.0 seconds. Now we can get S. So S, X, it means the horizontal displacement equals V multiplied by T. V equals 20 radical 3 multiplied by 4. 138.6 meter. So this is the horizontal distance, 138.6. Now we study another example about the projectile. Let us see this example. A pencil is knocked horizontally off the edge of desk at 5 meters per second. So we draw this figure. So this is the desk and this is the ground. The desk is 75 meters high, 75 centimeters. So we have to change a meter, divide by 100. So the distance is 0.75 meter. We change centimeter to meter because we talk about meter per second. Unit is very important in physics. So the height of the desk is 0.75 meter. This is the pencil. Okay. That it's a point. So it moves in this direction. What do we have here? Just we have the horizontal velocity. 5 meters per second, this is the horizontal velocity. So this is the initial horizontal velocity. It's 5 meters per second. No velocity in y-axis. So the velocity, the initial velocity in y-axis equals 0. So this is the drawing. He said, how long does it take the pencil to reach the floor? We start with the vertical motion. So we start with the vertical motion. Vertical motion. What do we have here given in the vertical motion? Okay, vertically we have here uy, the initial velocity in y-axis, it is 0. Also we have the displacement, 0, this is s in y-axis, which is 0.75 meter. Moves it downwards, so g is positive. G equals a positive 9.81 meter per second. That are the given. What do we need? We need the time. So which formula we use it? Yeah. We use this one. S equals ut plus half gt squared. Because we talk about vertical motion, just we say this is sy only. Now, sy is 0.75. U equals 0, so this part cancel. Half multiply 9.81 t squared. From this we can get t squared. Divide 0.75 by half times 9.81. We take the square root of the answer. 0.39 seconds. So this is the time. How long does it take? So this is part A. The time is 0.39. Remember, in this example, we don't have 2 times because just we have one way. It is not going up and down. It is just from up to down. So we don't multiply the time by 2. The time of flight in this example, it is just 1 time. The second part, what horizontal distance? So we need this one. We need Sx. We need Sx, the horizontal distance. So we talk about the horizontal motion. What do we have in horizontal motion? We have the initial velocity, which is constant. Remember, horizontal motion, the acceleration equals 0. We have ux. So ux equals 5 meters per second. Remember, it's constant. Also, we have the time. The time now is given, 0.39 seconds. What is the required? We need S. So which formula we use it to get S? Just this formula, S equals V multiplied by T. V, it's 5, and the time is 0.39 equals 1.96. So this is Sx meter. So this is the horizontal distance. 1.96 meter, this is the horizontal distance. If we need to change it to centimeter like the given, we multiply by 100, it becomes 196 centimeter or 196 centimeter at the given. Okay? I hope you understand this topic. Thank you.